lately I was in the mood to do some science fiction stuff again, or some science fiction horror related drawings. I did a lot of those things in the past with a lot of science fiction themes, or some cable, some cyborg stuff, biomechanics, things like that in general. It's right up my alley, and I wanted to do more of it. And yeah, I've been reading some science fiction books and watching some science fiction movies, so I was feeling inspired, you know? Last week I did this weird snail with some cables and some machinery on it, instead of like a normal snail, what do you call it, a house where the snail lives. However, so I had this idea about this weird floating head that like floats through space, and it's like this horror thing, this cyborg thing. I had these two designs in mind that I sketched out here, and I ended up settling for the one on the right here. The one on the left, I don't know, it's it didn't really resonate with me that much, but maybe I'll use this design later somewhere else. So the first thing that you see me drawing here is actually not the what I will stick with. The first try here is not very, I wasn't really convinced of it. It was way too small, so I'm gonna erase that and I'm gonna start over much bigger so I can fit much more details in. That's a problem that I have. I start way too small a lot of the times, and then it's like I'm kind of disappointed when I'm already invested in a drawing. And I've also already done a lot, and then it's just way too small, and I could have fit so much more in it. Plus, I didn't really like it with the two cables coming out of the eyes. Those two things, I wasn't too convinced of it, so I ended up scratching that drawing, erasing everything, and then jumping in right into a bigger drawing. It also looks much better, and I'm gonna fit way more detail in there. The left one was kind of inspired also by the Baron Harkonnen from Dune. As you can tell, I watched Dune 2 in the cinema like a few weeks ago. After completing Dune, like the novel, the second time, I've read it 2 times now, and yeah, it's really a great science fiction book. And now I'm currently reading The Free Body Problem. I'm gonna have that finished very soon, and then I'm gonna start reading Dune Messiah. So luckily I found the time to do some reading once again. It's been a long time since I really had actually just the time to read with my job and with school and girlfriends and girlfriend, singular, not plural. And yeah, so this is just gonna be like a regular thing of mine, this when it comes to the approach of everything, sketching everything out with graphite pencil, then coming in with erasing a good portion of it, and then coming in with my ink pens, my ballpoint pens, doing the details. And it's so much fun doing these cables again, the shading, and you can really create some great effects with the metal, the reflective surface of these tubes and cables and everything. And I'm just a huge fan of this whole biomechanics sort of stuff. I don't necessarily like it that much as a tattoo design, like this biomechanical tattoo style. I don't really like it. It's just to me, in my eyes, it just doesn't work on a human body, on the human skin, to do some biomechanical stuff. I think it just always looks very cheesy, when they have like a tattoo where it looks like the skin is ripped open and then they have like the Terminator arm underneath or something. I don't know, it just doesn't work that much. And then other biomechanical things, I don't know. I mean, it's a cool style, and there are only a few tattoo artists that I know of on Instagram that I can actually pull it off. But yeah, just this whole biomechanical thing, science fiction stuff, for me is like something that I want to keep on at a pen and paper sort of form. Not the pen and paper games, but like an artwork on paper. So yeah, at this point, should I give my review of Dune Part 2? Well, I don't know what is there to say. I mean, I was so hyped when Dune came out, like the first movie, Dune Part 1, like a few years ago, because I've read the book and I loved it. It was a great movie. I was blown away. It was amazing. But the only thing that really disappointed me, which I didn't know beforehand, was that it only goes to the half point of the book. So the book is split in 2 parts for the movies. I didn't know that, so I was really disappointed, and I just wanted it to keep going. The second part, I think, is almost better than the first one. As I said, I read the book 2 times, so read it a second time before I watched Dune Part 2. Great movie. They changed up quite a bit of things, but some things would have just been very difficult to bring to the screen, like the little daughter and Paul Atreides' sister. What is she called? Alia, I think. That would have been difficult, so they just kept her in. They just kept Jessica pregnant with her, and yeah, things like that. But otherwise, great movie. Absolutely hyped for it. And here you can already see what I mean with my cable designs. It's such a fun thing to do. Those cables, they get this nice comic book style aesthetic, and it works with the reflection, and it's really just not really something you don't need to focus on that much. I just have one very reflective surface, where it's just basically nearly white, and then I have this reflection in the middle, and one side of the tube of the cable I keep a little bit more shaded. So one side of the cable is shaded a little bit more to keep like a light and shadow thing going on, and yeah, then shading the edges of it to make it less two-dimensional. So yeah, this cable thing is something that I have going on for quite a long time now. You saw my my collection of drawings that I did in the past at the beginning of the video, so there's quite a lot in that direction, and yeah, I just love the effect of it. It's an easy effect to achieve, and it's so effective. It gives it so much detail, or at least the illusion of detail. I talked about this in another video. Detail is just an illusion a lot of the times. You don't need to shade every single thing and every single little bit. Doing these cable things is just fun. And yeah, I'm also shading the face. I'm not putting in that much effort in shading the face, as the I just want to achieve an effect and not go too overboard with it, not overshade it, as to not lose the big shapes of it, because he has like this skin hanging off from his face, and I don't want this to get lost somehow, or to have like some mix up with the cable, the shading, and there's just so much mixed together, so I wanted to avoid the drawing to blend into one big mess, basically, where you can't differentiate really what's going on anymore. That's what I was trying to do here. The last step really is to just make the background. And for the background, I want to have 2 planets and some stars, like a lot of stars, to really make it look like he's in outer space. The first step, obviously, is just, you know, just slap ink on there, which is what I'm doing here with my paintbrush, just slapping on ink, having fun with it. I'm also using a felt tip pen to fill in the gaps close to the drawing, so I don't have like ink spilling over onto the drawing. I am using charcoal for the planets to give them some shading and some, you know, so some of these rings that they might have, or not rings, but the patterns on the planet. And then I'm going in with my ballpoint pen and giving them some texture a little bit. Nothing too distracting from the main drawing, obviously, but just to make it look more interesting and more, not real, but yeah, just more interesting in general. Also, probably my second favorite part of this drawing is to just, or of any science fiction drawing I've done this in the past, is to create these little galaxies and solar systems and planets and stars in the background using my whiteout. This is basically just a whiteout pen, and I'm just creating little sprinkles here and there and little dots, stars, and then some bigger points where I just swirl it around a little bit, and it creates these galaxies, and it just looks fantastic, I think. It's a cool effect, a very easy to achieve cool effect. You know, that's what I'm after. So that's it for this drawing. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my Instagram, and yeah, have a nice day. Go and read the Dune books, they're fantastic. And I hope I see you around on the channel, okay? Take care, and bye bye.